Chicago Bears lose in heartbreaking fashion, ending their season to the New Orleans Saints, losing 29-9 to the New Orleans Saints. Today, Mitchell Trubisky went 29 for 19, meaning out of 29 attempts, he completed 19 of his passes, throwing for 199 yards and one touchdown. That came in within the final seconds of the game. Today, David Montgomery had 12 carries for 31 yards. Mitchell Trubisky had 3 carries for 10 yards. Andre Carter had 1 carry for 3 yards. Anthony Miller had 1 carry for 2 yards, and this was the same amount of carries and amount of yards that Cordell had. And Ryan Nall had 1 carry for 0 yards. On the receiving side of it, we saw Allen Robinson, who had 6 receptions for 55 yards. Bradley Ridley, who had 2 receptions for 36 yards. And Mr. Miscatch, Javon Wims, had 1 reception for 28 yards. Jimmy Graham, 2 receptions for 25 yards. Anthony Miller, 2 receptions for 22 yards. Andre Carter, 3 receptions for 17 yards. And Cole Kmet, 3 receptions for 16 yards. So those were the numbers. And, again, the Chicago Bears, they're not doing much offensively, considering we only had a touchdown within the final seconds of the game. I mean, this game was just heartbreaking. It was embarrassing, in fact. The fact that we had a performance out like this was awful. I mean, if you look at all the other playoffs teams, they all were competitive. All the teams were competitive. They kept it close. But us, we just got blown out. And it's just sad. I don't know what kind of changes need to happen, but I hope changes do happen. We saw, quite possibly, I would not be surprised. In fact, I think Matt Nagy called plays today, because looking at what he called, screens, runs, not scheming towards Mitch, just plays that Matt Nagy is known to be calling. Why is Matt Nagy calling plays? He just said he would give up play calling. But now he's calling plays? What does it tell you about a head coach? I'll let you think about that and answer that in your head. And, it's just embarrassing. Why did David Montgomery only have 12 carries? David Montgomery is one of the top 10 running backs in the NFL. He should have at least 20 carries. At least 20. Why did you run the ball with Ryan Nall? Why didn't you run the ball with David Montgomery? Why are you running the ball when you should be passing the ball? Why are you running wheel routes, short passes, when you need to get long passes for a good amount of yards? Why? Why, Matt Nagy? Why? Now, people might be saying, Matt Nagy's a great head coach. He brought our team from 5-6 straight losses and he got us into the playoffs. Do you know the teams that we beat? The Jaguars and the Vikings. 2 easy teams. 2 teams that are on a downfall. Easy teams, everyone. Easy. He didn't do anything special. He couldn't beat the Packers at all. He couldn't even beat the Saints. He nearly lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He took a decision to bench his quarterback for Nick Foles, and that ended up miserably. I just don't get how you can defend Matt Nagy at this point. What I think about this team, there's zero accountability with the players. I saw an interesting tweet that, the Bears showed multiple videos of, their dirty player, Mr. Garden, taunting players, and yet Anthony Miller got into a fight and got ejected. Where is accountability? There's no accountability on this team. You have a guy in Matt Nagy who says to be you, but be you is not working. He needs to hold accountability. One of my favorite coaches in the NFL is Mike Vrabel, because he gets accountability out of his players. I like Mike Vrabel a lot. I want to see that accountability be made from this team, from Matt Nagy. Even just before I mentioned how Matt Nagy probably called the plays today, where's accountability from Matt Nagy himself? There is none. This is embarrassing. We should have never gone out like this. It's embarrassing. But I'm not talking negatively. What are the positives? Well, the positives are most likely this will force a change in the Bears organization. Hopefully, the leadership can say, wow, you know what? I just lost to the Packers. I just got blown out against the Saints. Two embarrassing losses. Sure, I made the playoffs, but I had a 6-game losing streak. You know what? I'm gonna fire some people. Ted, I'm sorry I had a good run, but I have to fire you. Maybe Ted Phillips will retire. Hopefully he does that, but we'll see. Ryan Pace, man, I like you a lot, man, but I don't think you're fit for a GM position. For all I know, make Ryan Pace the president because I think that he's really good at drafting defensive players. It's just the quarterbacks that he misses on. So maybe elevate Ryan Pace to a different position and, do something along those lines. Matt Nagy. Man, I made 2 playoffs with you. I made the playoffs twice and I lost in the first round. It's time for you to go. Oh yeah, you also lost 6 straight losses. I can't have this on my team. You also failed to do what your job was, which was to develop Mitchell Trubisky. You failed. You're still holding him down. You're still not letting Mitch be Mitch. It's time for you to go. And Chuck Pagano, man, I don't even need to say anything. You need to get out. It's just embarrassing. I hope management makes a good decision. I hope they make some firings because firings need to happen. There needs to be accountability, and I hope the organization can do that. I hope I wake up tomorrow or on Tuesday, or I hope I hear the news Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy have been fired, or I hear that Matt Nagy has been fired and Ryan Pace has taken a different role and the Bears have a vacant GM position. I hope I hear Ted Phillips has retired. I hope I hear Chuck Pagano has been fired. Hopefully, there will be some changes. Hopefully, this embarrassing loss will force the Chicago Bears to make changes. And one other positive thing, I loved seeing Mitch go out like that. I don't know what the future will hold for Mitch, but I love going him out. Like him having his last pass as a Chicago Bear being a touchdown, man, I'm all happy for Mitch. And Allen Robinson, I hope he's coming back as a Chicago Bear because he's one of my favorite guys on this team. And I hope he comes back as a Chicago Bear, but if not, I loved watching Allen Robinson play this whole season as a Chicago Bear. And Allen, thank you so much for playing as a Chicago Bear. And yeah, thank you. Thank you guys for supporting me in this Bears season. I'm gonna have a lot of content out, more video essays coming out soon. So if you guys like my videos, make sure to subscribe, like, and share the video. Peace out, guys, and bear down.